Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Let us continue to pray to the God of dislikes. So, I live in a little bit of a hellhole at the moment. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. It gets to be 100 degrees 5-6 months out of the year every year, and I uh, I want to leave. I don't like the heat wave, but I have a couple of dream jobs, and I finally have a girlfriend here, and I don't know what to do, and that's been the dilemma as of late, right? But last summer I went through a significant hell. 120 degrees. I was all alone, and I got COVID 19. I recovered from the COVID 19, and then I got poisoning working with metal alloys. And I kind of interesting. I got some of the best performance reviews I ever got at work, in large part because I buried my head in the work to escape all of that. And part of the reason I've been very bold going back to the dating world is that I remembered how hellish it was to be all alone when it was hot. I don't know why. Something about being alone when there's a heat wave really bothered me. You see, I've lived in cold weather before. I lived in Wallace, Idaho. I lived in Rochester, New York. Being alone there doesn't bother me nearly, during a cold front, doesn't bother me nearly as much as being alone during a heat wave, right? Uh, Locking yourself up when it's below zero outside, having some nice hot food. That's actually nice. I actually prefer to be alone in that situation, especially in Wallace, Idaho, where there's a mountain range in the distance. I actually love being alone there. Unfortunately, I can't get a job there, and even if I landed a job there today, I don't think I would want to leave all of my connections behind, right? So I've been thinking about what to do. My girlfriend works retail, so it's probably easier for her to start over in another city. She doesn't have that many connections here in Phoenix. So I've been thinking over the next 1 or 2 years, I'll accumulate another few tons of bismuth, maybe another 1,000 ounce silver bar, and I'll max out my Roth IRA for the next 1 to 2 years, and bust out of here altogether and start over. Especially if I can buy some property elsewhere. Right, Wallace, Idaho is relatively inexpensive, and I'll just have to look for another career over there. And uh, part of the reason I don't even like to take vacation anymore, especially overseas, is that I could go to Taiwan. I got family in Taiwan. I still have some connections in Wallace, Idaho, in Rochester, and I have a few connections in Poland. Part of the reason I don't even like to go to those places anymore is that when I go there and I connect with people there, it's hard to bring them home with me, right? Even in Rochester or in Wallace, Idaho, it's still hard to bring the connections home with me. If I meet somebody, I want to see them again, right? If I meet somebody and don't see them again, well, I can easily do that here. In fact, I do that too much here in Phoenix, right? How many times have I made a friend at a board game, or made a so-called friend at a board game meetup, never to see them again, right? That's easy to do here. I don't need to go to Poland to do that, right? That's the problem, right? And that's just really infuriating. And unfortunately, I hope to bust out of here before the next heat wave. That was way too tricky for me. I'll have to see. Hope this year, during, I guess I'll have to stay for part of this heat wave because I already signed some contracts to teach until May. But I guess I'll get to see how a heat wave is when I'm not all alone, right? And maybe it won't be so bad. But it's one of those situations. It's like, how did my life end up here, right? It really has that vibe to it. Um, but I don't like the way Western world is built. It's built all around being navigated by a couple, and if you're single, a lot of things are just. It kind of feels like a. I did a lot of tutoring in the past. I had a couple students who were left-handed, and every time we would look for equipment of some sort, right? It was just not built for them. It seemed like being single in a mostly coupled society, in a religious society like the United States, where you see, when I was living in Japan, it wasn't so bad. You had people who lived long term in the capsule hotels. I stayed in a capsule hotel in Japan, and there was not a whole lot of prejudice against that. Here in the United States, we have the audacity to say that Japan has a quote unquote really high homeless rate, hidden homeless rate, simply because you had singles living in capsule. So what? They have better connections than people here in the United States, right? I don't know why we have the audacity to judge another culture. That's how we are here in the US. Um, all right, please continue to pray for me by leaving a dislike on this video. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.